The People's Republic was founded. Mao Zedong set the gate of heavenly peace and declared, China had stood up.
China, 1958, the Great Leap Forward. Mao declares China to industrialize overnight. Farmers melt their tools into steel, and between 15 to 55 million people starve. The government calls it 3 years of natural disaster. In 1959, Defense Minister Peng Dehua wrote Mao a private letter. In it, he said that policies were failing, people were starving. He was right, but was sentenced to lifelong prison, denied medical treatment, and died in 1974.
China, 1966, the Cultural Revolution. University was shut down. Professor was sent to pig farms. Each student was handed a red book. In it, it told them to find their class enemies. They found their teachers, neighbors, and even their parents. Over 17 million urban youth sent to the countryside, and college enrollment rate dropped by over 90% during this time period. A generation gone.
By 1976, Mao was dead, and the nation was left exhausted. Rural income sat at 134 yuan per year. Foods rationed, universities shut down, and the question no one dared to ask. What do we do now?
So what follows is debate between two officials. A conservative official who believes that discipline is the answer, and a reform official who believes that discipline has already failed. 3 seeds, 3 decades, the argument that changed China.
You hear that?
No?
Exactly. No riots, no chaos. Finally, after 10 years of madness, there's silence. That's stability.
Silence and stability. Rations are small. People are quiet because you're exhausted. You don't have stability. You have survival of the fittest.
At least everyone eats the same. No one's rich, no one's left behind. That's the whole point. Equality.
Equal poverty is not equality. Deng said it clearly. Poverty is not socialism.
Watch what you quote and where you say it. You think we built nothing? Well, here, let me tell you the truth. We've sent doctors into villages that have never seen doctors before. Barefoot doctors, women who carry medical supplies into the countryside. They've been to places no trained physician has ever been before. You call that nothing?
No, it's not nothing. But a barefoot doctor is not a real doctor. And a village who hasn't seen a trained physician still has not seen a trained physician before. So not just deeply told me last week. It's almost 30 years since the founding of this country, and people still want to be fed. If we don't change, the peasants will revolt.
Who's that someone?
Someone who loves this country deeply enough to say out loud.
People have said things like that before. 1959, Peng Dehua at Lushan to Mao's face. He was right about the famine, but guess what? When he spoke up, he was sentenced to prison for life. Rightness does not protect you here.
And silence doesn't protect the millions of people in hunger.
Order's not optional. It's what keeps us standing. Mao believed that we should work alongside peasants and farmers, not be above them.
The university was shut down. The Gaokao was abolished in 1965 for almost 10 years. During this time period, college enrollment rate dropped by over 90%. Tens of millions of people lost opportunity in higher education. If you don't restore education, there'll be no hope for China.
By restoring higher education, we'd rebuild the class system we spent 30 years dismantling. In 1965, 80% of college students were from urban families. The Gaokao doesn't change. Who has the connections, the books? You call that equality?
But keeping the universities closed benefits the same families. A peasant's son could not survive without a degree.
You move too fast. The revolution is a perpetual struggle against old ideas.
We've already waited for too long. The Gaokao was back in 1977. Over 5 million people took it. Fewer than 300,000 people passed. The oldest test takers, they're up in the 30s. 30-year-olds sitting next to 18-year-olds, trying to regain a future they once lost. People cried when the results came out.
Exactly. Because pressure returned. The weight of expectation, families anxious, society on the edge.
No, because hope returned to their lives. It's a society where a farmer's daughter can be a doctor based on what she knows and not who her father knows.
Yes, in theory, but in practice, whose children weren't sent to the villages? Whose children had the books?
In the countryside, green output rose almost immediately. 25% in 3 years. The household responsibility system reversed a decade of agricultural stagnation. Hunger's falling. People are getting fed now for the first time since before the famine.
And inequality rises with it. Some families are richer than others, some villages produce more. Doesn't this echo the danger Mao warned us about?
We already have equality. Equal poverty.
You're inviting capitalism, foreign money, foreign influence. We risk losing control of our very own system.
We're inviting results. Control test in Shenzhen, population under 30,000. If it fails, the damage is limited.
And if it succeeds?
Then we learn from it. Deng said it clearly. It doesn't matter whether the cat is black or white, as long as it catches the mice. Practice is the sole criterion on testing truth.
That's Deng's philosophy. It's not the party doctrine.
Deng is the party now.
For now.
A student named Wei Jingsheng posted an essay on the democracy wall this winter. He named it the fifth modernization. In it he said, agriculture, industry, defense, science, they're all good, but without democracy, none of it will last.
Where is he now?
Prison. 18 years.
Even your reform has limits. You open up the economy, but can't close your arguments. At least I'm honest about what I'm arguing for.
I believe that feeding people is more urgent than letting people vote. I hope I'm going to the right direction.
Hope? We built this whole damn project on hope. Look where hope has brought us. Didn't expect to see you still standing after all these years.
You would die. Look outside. Shenzhen. High-speed railways, airports, skyscrapers. Shenzhen isn't a fishing village anymore. Poverty rate 63% in 1981 to 10% by 2004. 400 million people lived out of poverty.
I know the numbers.
Then say it.
Yes, the growth is real, the economy is real, the airports are real, Tiananmen Square is real. 1989, 1 million protesters at the square carrying the arguments you made in 1979. You gave them prosperity and they asked for a voice. They did, but the government shut them down.
That's not what we intended.
It never is. The Great Leap Forward wasn't what Mao intended. The Cultural Revolution wasn't what anyone intended. People die from our actions, and that's not what we intend.
What would you do?
I don't know. I think that's the first honest thing I've said in 30 years.
We've crossed the river, one stone at a time, slowly but steadily.
Some of us did. The million protesters at the square. Wei Jingsheng sentenced to 18 years in prison. The workers who built the city of Shenzhen, they aren't able to afford to live in Shenzhen because their hukou permits say Anxi, Shanhui, and other places. They aren't able to register their kids to go to school in Shenzhen, the very own city that they built. Yes, some of them are still crossing, but others have drowned.
But China's entry into global trade reshaped manufacturing, supply chain, geopolitics. What happened here changed the world.
Change doesn't always mean improvement.